Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the November meeting of the Oak Hills Park Authority on November 21st, 2024. First item on the agenda is the call to order. I would like to do the roll call. And as I call your name, if you could just mention if you are here or not. Denise Brown.
Here.
Gary Leeds.
Here.
Jennifer McAllister.
Here.
Richard Dellinger.
Here.
TJ Trimboli.
Here.
Robert Stowes.
Here.
We do have a quorum. So welcome and thank you all for attending the meeting today. Second item on the agenda, or the third item on the agenda, is the acceptance of the minutes. I'd like a motion to move the acceptance of the minutes I made. Do I have someone to move that, please?
I'll make a motion.
Richard Dellinger, motion. Second.
I'll second.
Do we have any discussion, any errors or omissions in the minutes as received? I actually didn't see any. I thought they did rather a good job. Any other authority members see any errors or omissions or any changes? Okay, there being none, I would like to have a vote for all those in favor of the acceptance of the minutes. Please do so by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? The minutes are accepted as approved. The next item on the agenda is public participation, and basically this is the meeting where we will be discussing and voting on management team's recommendations for changes in pricing and policy. Before making any final decisions, at the end of the meeting, the authority members will consider what has been said by the participants in the public meeting or any written information that has been sent to us in advance. So we will consider what has been said, obviously, before we make any decisions at the end of the meeting. That being said, I would like to open it up to public participation, hopefully. Public participation, when your name is called, if you could just state your name, your address, and you will actually have 3 minutes to talk to us. So let's see. Jim, are you able to see who is in public participation?
Yeah, I just allowed Troy Jelleret to speak.
Troy Jelleret. Okay, Troy, you have your hand up. Did you let him in, Jim?
Can you hear me, Alan?
Yeah, we can hear you, Troy.
Yep.
First of all, good evening, Alan, Mr. Chairman. It's nice seeing you on this side of the.
Nice to be on the other side for a change. Correct.
Let me start off by saying my name is Troy Jelleret. I live at 25 Ellen Street in Norwalk. I've been a 30-year member of the club and also a resident. And I'm also a 5-year member of the Board of Estimate in town. Let me start off by commending the club for a great season. It's always busy, as all of us know, trying to get tee times. The talk of the area golfers and the conditions of the course have been splendid, despite extreme weather conditions over the last couple of seasons. And the professionalism of the staff has been great. And dare I say, a very good restaurant. And congratulations to you, Alan, and your board for making that a smooth transition this year. First, regarding the key financial components, I see, when I saw the agenda, I was a little surprised to see all the increases and things. Because all the metrics I see, seeing stuff monthly, obviously, is that your numbers are great. Revenue rounds are way up. Golf revenue is way up. Net operating income is very strong. Cash balances are way up. And it's hard for me to find any shortfalls. Also, things are well based on the capital improvements that we have seen started in the fall this year with the traps and a couple of the tee boxes. And the loan, importantly, is being handled as agreed, and the restaurant is working well. So my feeling when I see stuff like that in the business world, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Going from there, I particularly the issue of concerned with is the thought of eliminating the unlimited players tee time priority. Since costs can't be an issue based on the financials and how well the club is doing, not sure why this is even being asked for or attacked. The loyalty of the unlimited members has been pretty good. I mean, it started a few years ago when the club was having some issues and we had to do some restructuring and stuff, but at least some of the members stood up and took on the unlimited passes. Those are the, and those are great because you're putting, and, as we know, usually, in the business world, in all worlds, you usually get more when you pay for more, which the 9-day priority is the incentive for the unlimited, and the unlimited program is more risky due to the fact that I'm paying up front. And I don't know, for unforeseen reasons, I could get injured or get sick, or I might not be able to use the full pass for that year. And I don't think there's any pro rata discount or rebates if you do not use it. So that was those issues. So even though I have an unlimited pass, I also pay for a cart. I try to use the restaurants and the food at the 9th hole and participate in tournaments, which all generate money for the club. So I think more thought has to be done to address the Saturday, Sunday tee time demand, which I think is really what all this has come down to. So, I mean, I think you guys can come up with some solutions other than just arbitrarily eliminate that provision. I was thinking maybe mandate at all times on Saturday and Sunday mornings that if you are an unlimited tee time, in order to get one, all the people in your group, the foursome, must have an unlimited pass. That would be interesting because that would reduce the amount of demand. If you're only giving out 50 passes, it's going to reduce the demand. Another item might be, how about have one weekend a month where there's no priority to any pass holders? So that would give the second tier, the 8-day people, an even chance, as long as, and then people without a pass at all.
Troy, I hate to cut
These
you
are just
off, but
ideas.
you're
How about
approaching the 3-minute mark, Troy, just to let you know.
Okay, I'm almost done. Another idea might be capping the unlimited rounds after a certain amount that is played, and then you have to go down to the second level as far as picking tee times. Or you might want to add a surcharge after a certain number of rounds. So these are just some thoughts and ideas. And I would like you to maybe be able to go back and maybe kind of think of another way to handle the item with regard to the and one more thing on the cost wise. I don't know if the cost you can't determine on the unlimiteds until the year end, because we don't know what the number of rounds the person plays until the year end. And also, if you compare that to your Golf More, or when you have extra tee times, I think you send them out to Golf More. And if you look at it, it's probably the difference there, the discount you get there versus the discount you get on the unlimited is probably not that great. So once again, thank you for your time, and I look forward to hearing more about your ideas. Thank you, Alan, and your team.
Thank you, Troy. Thank you. Okay, Jim, who else has a hand up?
Alex Knott.
Thank you.
Man up, welcome.
Thank you,
And-
Mr. Chairman, members of the authority. Like Troy, let me say I've had a wonderful golf year, and thank you for maintaining such an excellent municipal course. Let me just say, I don't read your agenda that you're able to act on this tonight. And I think that by doing so, you may be opening yourself up to an FOI challenge. There's nothing on the agenda that says you're going to adopt rates, says you're going to have a rate hearing. That's very different. I would consult with City Corporation before acting tonight. I've submitted written testimony to raise 7 issues that I hope you'll think about. It's hard to think about them and vote on the same night. That's why the way I read your agenda, it doesn't say you're going to act on anything tonight.
Well, just so you know, Alex, we did actually receive yours about an hour and a half ago, and
Okay.
I was able to distribute it to the members of the authority to look at.
So I would love to have some response, but let me just quickly, in my few minutes, outline quickly the 7 issues. And I think some response would be appropriate. And again, I question whether you should be acting tonight on these rates. So first, I've been concerned many years that a number of authorities have raised rates as their way to deal with finances. And given that we've had such an excellent season in terms of the number of rounds being up over 3 or 4 years ago, in part due to COVID, and in part due to the improvements in the course, did you consider not raising rates at all? And what would be the consequence for the finances of the course? Second, the only rate reduction you're proposing is for non-residents. And my question to you is, what is the balance between reducing rates for non-residents and raising rates for residents? What's the balance of that? What's the net gain? And for every non-resident you hope to bring in by lowering the rates, don't you risk losing rounds from residents by raising their rates? Have you done a study about the pros and cons? I'd like to see the results of that. Third, let's not forget that residents of Norwalk, whether they're golfers or not, subsidize the course in at least 2 ways. One is we pay the debt service up front, even though the course pays us back over time. And second, we forego property tax revenue on the course because it's a public park, whereas non-golfers from outside of Norwalk come here and play, and they don't have these indirect subsidies. I think at a minimum, you should not be cutting rates for non-residents and raising rates for residents. At least they should be treated equally. Fourth, I understand you're going to be eliminating the 9th day for booking. My question is, have you done a study to determine whether or not the course is making money or losing money in terms of the unlimited pass? In other words, if you know what all the play by all the unlimited players were, you know when they played, you know what rate they would have been charged had there been no unlimited pass. Is the course making money or losing money on the unlimited passes that it's sold compared to what those players would have sold, that would have paid? And if you don't know the answer to that question, how can you take away the incentive that has been offered the last 2 years to have the extra day of booking? I'm not here to tell you do it or don't do it. I'm here to say so far, we haven't seen any data that justifies doing it. And I think that would be an important thing for you to do. Fifth, even if you take away the extra time for booking unlimited, still there are groups that are given outside of the rules, as far as I can determine, favored status. For example, the Oak Hills Women's Association gets preferred tee times, I believe now on Wednesday, for a certain number of tee times. I don't know, Paul can tell us how many that is. But how is that justifiable, whereas the advanced tee time for annual pass holders is not? And if you eliminate one preferred tee time, are you going to eliminate all of them? That would seem to be a matter of equity, or at least you should adopt rules to determine how do groups come to you and seek preferred tee times at any time. Sixth, I'd love to know what the authority is doing to increase the number of outings. I believe you had 17 outings this year. That's an improvement over the past. I've always believed outings are a way to increase revenue to subsidize the green fees as a way to meet the course's financial needs without imposing costs on resident golfers, especially seniors. That's why we built a restaurant when I was mayor and sized it at 144 seats to be able to take a full party of a outing. What are you doing to increase the numbers so that those outings can subsidize the green fees? And finally, I don't know whether you've thought about increasing the cart fees for non-residents, but again, if you have cut the fees for non-residents and increased the fees for residents, but you left the cart fees the same for both, that seems an area where you could address it further. So I think there are a number of areas here where you've proposed things. I'm not here to oppose them or support them per se. I'm here to say, I think we need more data from you to determine whether or not the choices you've made are the best ones. And I appreciate your giving me the time to speak with you tonight.
Thank you, Bernard, for your comments. Jim, next person who has their hand up.
Yes. Hi. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, could you state your name and your address, please?
Certainly. My name is Aaron Karp. I have been a member of Oak Hills now for 12 years. I live at 4 Cannon Brook Lane in Norwalk. I've been a resident in town since 1977. First of all, I want to echo what my colleagues and friends said about the authority and the place. But my primary point that I would like to mention is I feel strongly about the authority keeping that incentive of the ninth day for the unlimited pass. And the reason for that, while it was stated, I would like to have an opportunity to use my own words to reiterate that that is an incentive because I have taken a risk, I have put up some money up front, and yes, I have played many rounds, but all the other things that were mentioned in terms of the additional expenditures that go to the club in terms of riding the cart, using the restaurant, and the halfway house. And more importantly, this is my home club. And I invite people, I encourage people to come here. And we turn out to play more rounds at Oak Hills. Whereas, frankly, if you take away that incentive, then it is very likely that I will play less rounds and I will go elsewhere because the opportunity exists. I can use golf now in other courses as well and get a better price. May not be the same timing, but it could be done. So one point that I would like to make to the authority is that that incentive is important for the reason that I outlined. My second point is that if we are at a point where we are making money, then why raise the fees? I understand that you got to have a bucket of money to cover costs. Things that come up need to be repaired, people, all that stuff. I get that. But if you have excess money, I would think you would want to give that back to the membership, and especially the residents of town who have supported the club and lived through the trying times where you didn't have money. So in summary, what I would ask the authority is to reinstate what you are proposing to eliminate, which is this incentive that for me as a player, as a person, an interested party, and a resident of Norwalk is the incentive to have that extra day and then give us the opportunity to continue enjoying what I just talked about in terms of the playtime, the events at the course, and the participation. So thank you for giving me this opportunity. And I hope that, the authority sees its way to keep that incentive for the unlimited pass, which I am asking for.
Thank you for your comments. James?
The next speaker is Bill S. Bill, you're muted. Please give us your name and address after you unmute yourself.
Jim, he doesn't have his hand up. He may not want to speak. He may just want to listen.
Thank you, Mark. Then in that case, we will go to Craig Gironda. Craig, you're up. He's also muted.
Thank you.
Hi, Craig. Just give us your name and your address, if you'd be so kind, please.
Craig Gironda, 7 June Bar Lane, Norwalk, Connecticut. I echo a lot of the thoughts that we've heard today from our members, especially around the quality of golf at the course and the staff that we interact with. So thank you all very much for that. I'll keep mine much less than 3 minutes. First, city golf course residents should have preferences over non-residents. Can't imagine the logic of having residents and non-residents being equal in rates and or perks. Second, seniors. I'm a senior. I think having the unlimited pass is a great thing, and I hope that you vote to have that with or without the 9 days. But that's my point is it's a great perk for us as seniors who don't want to have variable expenditures on our golf. We want to have as fixed costs on our golf as close to possible. And then third is a question. What is the reason the decision is being made to eliminate the 9 days and go to 8 days? And thank you very much. I'll shut up from here.
Thank you, Craig. We don't actually answer questions in this actual period. We just listen to what you guys have to say and then take it into consideration when we come to vote. So thank you for your comments.
So
Jim?
will we ever know the reason?
Yeah, you'll be able to look at the minutes, I would imagine, after when the vote has been taken, etc. And yes.
Okay, thank you all.
The next speaker is Eric Nees.
Hey, Jim, I think we should just ask anyone who's remaining, can you please put up your hand if you'd like to speak?
Alan,
Yes.
somebody has background noise. Could we mention that there's a background noise kind of interrupting
Right.
the speaking?
Do we think it's one of our speakers, or do we think it's
Yeah, I
obviously one of
think
us?
it could be Aaron.
So, if anybody who's listening at the moment, if I could ask you, if you have a speaker on, if you could kind of mute it or whatever, because we're getting a lot of background noise. Obviously, please feel free to listen. But if you're not speaking, if you'd like to mute, that would be great. Thank you so much.
The moderator should be able to see who is
Yeah.
making noise in the panel and mute them out.
Jim, can you mute Aaron's phone? That was where it's coming from. Anyone who's already spoken should probably be muted at this point.
Okay, that's a good point. Anybody who has already spoken should probably be muted. Jim, who else has their hand up?
I don't see any other hands up.
Okay. So there being no further request for hands up or to speak, I will now close public participation. Thank you all for giving us your opinions before we actually take any action. We do appreciate it. The next item on the agenda, item number 5, is reports. So first item is report of the chair, and that is me. I was going to welcome Jeff Schweitzer, but I don't believe he is with us at this moment in time. So we will have to wait till the next meeting. I did speak to Jeff and welcome him, and I think Rich, you have, or you're about to send him a welcome package, which you did such a good job on. So he'll be able to see what we do and all of us, etc. Rich, were you able to send him that?
I don't think I gave him good enough instructions to come to the meeting.
Okay.
Oh.
So there is that. Just one quick comment. We are going to be as authority members, discussing the rates and then taking a vote on that. And I would encourage you all just to remember we are authority members, and we act on behalf of the authority, and not as individuals. We act as if we are the keepers of Oak Hills and the authority that runs it. So I would just make that comment. So also Mary Verrill will not be not with us. I know that. So when we come to her report, I have a couple of things basically that she has mentioned to me. So the next report hopefully is John Lloyd with us at this moment in time. Do we see John? I don't know if I see John here.
Don't see John either.
No. Okay. So just for everybody's approbation, we did, Jim and I did meet with John and Marshall last week just to go over, because now they're transitioning from being a golf restaurant to being a freestanding restaurant, and they're going to be open from Wednesday to Sunday during December, January, and February, and beginning of March. So they become a different place now. Now they become a destination restaurant rather than having people come, that are playing golf. And it does change a little bit. They do have some very good holiday parties booked, which is very good. Jim and I did talk to them about laying down some ground rules for how we would do golf outings next year. We're in the process of finalizing that document, so we don't have similar situations that we had last year, where we were basically having, people bringing their own booze and not giving the restaurant any type of business whatsoever. We're just finalizing that document now. And also, O'Dean's has changed their menu. They have really changed a little from being a golf type restaurant with a lot of finger food and hamburgers and hot dogs to more of an a la carte restaurant. And it is not, there are some other new items on the menu. We have fish and chips, we have pasta, which is a good thing. So we did have a good meeting. So I guess that's my restaurant report. Under the nature advisory, Mark, I don't know if you have anything at all on that side.
No, there's been nothing for the last month.
But we did, Jim, I think you delivered some topsoil for Mary to the area outside the back of the restaurant. I don't know exactly what you call it, but I see it's been spread out. And I believe she's going to be...
they've even spread their seed that they needed to spread.
Okay, they did?
Well, that's what one of my guys told me. I didn't see it happen, but they did.
Okay, great. And then item D, tennis, Denise Brown.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Evening. So obviously the tennis season is over. It's very quiet. We had a fundraiser go out. It was sent out by Kings Highway in November to us to request, to give them a lowdown of the things that we have accomplished. As we sent it out basically to the tennis teams, because we have 3 ladies tennis teams, to see if we could get any donations based on their experience and what they've been using the courts, and they've been coming to Oak Hills for quite a few years. We did receive right now maybe about $500 in miscellaneous donations through the supporters and some checks. So there's a few people who did reach out to us based on, we think that it's based on that email, but we also do send out an email from the Tennis Friends of Oak Hills. And one of the projects we were looking to get donations for was for planting trees along the side of the tennis court and the golf course where some of those huge trees have fallen down. So we're, trying to promote that so that we can maybe receive some donations to purchase some trees for there or to help Jim in getting the trees. So that's things that we had done in the past month. But basically, we did receive the new fencing. It's hasn't been put up yet. It did come in last week. I don't know, Jim, I didn't drive by the courts today, so I don't know if they started yet. So as of yet, the fencing was there on the ground and the fencing has not started to be installed yet. So just hoping for that to happen as soon as it can. And we'll be happy when that's actually completed so that we can submit the application to the USTA.
Does anybody have any questions for Denise? Denise, thank you for your report. Next item is item E, supporters of Oak Hills. I see Jerry Crowley.
Yep, thank you. Hello, everybody. Once again, we're going to finish up the year this month, and we'll have some numbers for the next meeting.
Thank you, Jerry. Nice to see you.
Okay, good to see you.
Item F is the long-term planning, Gary leads. I know Gary's been working very hard these last couple of months on meeting with all of us. And so Gary, would you like to give us a report, please, if you might?
Okay, it is the holiday season, so activity has been a little bit slower than the last couple of months. However, Alan, myself, and Richard met with Ernie DeRoche, do I say that correctly? Who was a wealth of knowledge and offered his help in a lot of information that he accumulated during the previous 2014 long-range plan. So we're kind of digesting that information, and we got a lot of good ideas from our meeting with him, and he's offered to help fill in as we go through the process. I have been talking to TJ, Denise, and Mary. They're all generating some ideas, and their meetings will kick off after the holidays and into January. So I hope that we continue to make progress on the plan. And in the new year, I will work out a timeline and some objectives to meet certainly by February, and then we will continue working through our ideas. And that's pretty much where I am at this point.
Thank you, Gary. Does anybody have any questions for Gary? Okay, Paul Alexander, who I believe is in sunny Florida as we speak. Paul.
Yes, thank you, Alan. All right, well, 2024 golf season's kind of come to an end. We've got a lot of cold weather. It got a little colder than normal, quicker this year. We went to temporary greens and temporary tee boxes weeks ago. We're charging $20 to walk. So there's definitely been a big slowdown in the last 3 or 4 weeks. But renovations on the golf course look great. Bunkers are fantastic, and the first tee is fabulous. At the moment, we have about 10 or less staff members on our schedule, and most are working solo shifts. We did propose the rates for our authority, the 2025 rates. The PA carts all running good again. We kind of put halfway for the winter, and the other half are still being used. The bag drop's closed during the week, but we're gonna keep it open for any busy weekends if we see them coming up. We've been doing a lot of training, a lot of work with 4UP. We have a new POS system and a new software program with 4UP. We're still with Golf now. We're using their booking engine, but I think 4UP is going to be great. It's going to save us some money, and we're going to get a lot more support from them. And we've been doing a lot of training. The entire staff has been multiple dates of training on the software. And Steve Shepard's been a tremendous help for us in implementing this new system. We posted a 2025 tentative outing schedule. And what we do after we decide some of the new conditions or terms of any yearly outing contract, we pencil the outing people in, and then we send them the contract and ask them if they'd like to keep their existing dates. So anyway, it's really been a great year. The play is, there's been a lot of play. We really have a great staff this year, the best I've had in 13 years. The conditions of the course were great. Everybody loves our greens. There was some tough conditions, the lack of rain this year. And it's just been great to see all repairs made to the buildings and the whole facility, and a lot of the renovations on the golf course, and just a beautiful functioning restaurant. So really, it's been a great year. I think there's a lot of happy people, and we're really looking forward to next year. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Paul. Any questions for Paul?
Oh, I just have one question. You know, I know you got a great year. I appreciate all the work you put in. I know you put down. I just would like to know the process. I know we saw the rates for the first time last meeting, but I didn't hear much about the process. Can you just walk us through a little bit of the process about how you came up with the rates for this year, and who was involved, and how and what you looked at?
Sure.
For
So
the benefit of the members, yeah, for the members, and also those that are concerned about the rates.
yeah. So every year, Oak Hills Park, we have some of the staff members, the major staff members get together. It could be Jim and I and Mark, and Jim Shell, if he's ever interested. He has been in the past, and Alan was even involved. And we basically kind of do some benchmarking with the help of Steve Shepard's data against all our other competitors. You know, we kind of feel like we really don't have a whole lot of competitors, maybe Sterling Farms and Smith Richardson, but those golf courses are extremely busy. So I'm not sure, you know, if they see us as much of a competitor. Again, they have lots of demand for their tee times as well. And then really all we've done, you know, since I've been there, is just add $1 or $2 every year. That's about it. And to me, it seems like adding $1 or $2 is a lot less than the cost of living index or inflation. And we have to keep in mind, we have minimum wage goes up. We're trying to get some skilled, you know, people for Jim Shell in there that, you know, really cost more money. Cost of goods have gone up, expenses. So an increase of $1 or $2 is pretty much what we do for the last many years. It seems nominal to me.
Thanks very much.
Any other questions for Paul at this time?
Didn't answer anything, huh?
Okay. Next up, we have Superintendent Jim Shell. Jim.
Okay, good evening, everybody. I really don't have that much to report. I just want to touch on a couple things. I am working on phase 2 of the bunker project. I think that's going to include the 11th tee. We're going to try to move that over so that people are discouraged from trying to go over the tennis courts. And if they do, it will be much more difficult moving it to the left towards the cart path a little bit. We're just doing odds and ends around the shop. We are out on the course. Like today, we were out removing a bunch of invasive species that Norwalk has permitted everyone to remove. It's something that the spotted lanternfly goes after, and you know, we're going to do our part there. Everything is done on the course. We're, you know, our maintenance is essentially done. We're just waiting for this winter season, which has already been wild. No snow yet, but there's always tomorrow. And I really don't have anything else to report.
Any questions for Jim?
Yeah, I have a question for Jim. Hey, Jim, do we do anything like roping off the greens or
Today
eliminate-
we actually,
yeah,
we roped off number 6 because there is some snow in the forecast tomorrow. And I don't expect it to go away. So if it does land and stick, just because temperatures are going to drop this weekend, and inevitably we're going to see sledders once that snow is finished. So number 6 definitely gets roped off.
okay, but and do we do anything else to eliminate golfers from trying to hit the greens? Is there a hole still on the green that they would putt into, or do we?
But he said he wasn't
there-
going to respond. So, of
There is a hole on the green, and
course they are.
we haven't really done anything. I mean, if people are going to do it and they get caught, then they're going to be removed, and that's
Yeah, well, I'm just,
it's happened before, and I'm sure it'll happen again.
yeah, I know it's not pretty, but we could just put some stakes around the green and just pull some caution tape or something, and just to make it annoying for people to even get on the green during the winter.
Yeah, they won't care.
Yeah,
I promise you, they won't care. The ones that are going to do it.
okay. All righty, just wondering if we did something like that.
I wish we could.
Okay.
I'm hearing some background music, Jim. Is everybody muted that's listening in by any chance? Do we know?
Alex and Craig.
Can we mute Alex and Craig, do you think, please? Thank you. Jim, quick question. How's the blacktop that's in your yard these days? The 2 areas that
It's awesome.
done?
Awesome.
I would expect nothing else, right?
I mean, it's a big
Thank
difference
you.
now. Let's hope it stays nice.
I don't have a question, but I do have a question for Jim. My ears perked up when you said the whole 11 and you're doing some modifications. When can you expect that work to be done?
Well, when the bunker project gets done, which is going to be in the fall, just like it was this year, that tee will get moved over.
Okay, so it's next,
Hopefully.
next fall. You're
Yes.
okay. I didn't get the timeline. Thanks very. I'm glad to hear it. Thank you very much. It's, and all the tennis players, thank you.
All right.
Okay.
I'm
Next item on
sorry,
the
Alan.
agenda.
I think there's still feedback somewhere. Oh, no, it's done now. Okay, it was there a minute ago.
No, I can still hear people talking in the background. Okay. Well, that may have done it. Okay, next item on the agenda is controller, Mark Gardner.
Hello, everyone. I can't even speak. Jim, I think you have to de-elevate whoever was speaking before. You should be able to inactivate them, because I think that's where the noise is coming from. My only change to my report is expenses were I had written 14,000 over budget. I finished the financials now, and they're $17,000 over. So an increase in expense of $3,000. So instead of 156,000 over budget, we're only 153,000. So we're doing very well. Revenue rounds are 12.4% above budget year to date, and cart rounds are 10.5% above budget year to date. And in regard to capital improvements, you'll see when I send out the financials that it still looks like we're pretty far under budget on that, but that's just the timing of the big bunker bills. That was paid in 4 installment payments, and there was a $50,000 bill that is hitting in December. So by the end of December, you should probably see our CapEx being pretty close to budget. And I can address one of the questions from Alex if Alan, you will let me.
Yeah, please go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So Alex, in regard to the annual passes, that's my piece of the puzzle. I do an annual, pretty detailed analysis. I did one this year. by player. I go through every round every round that the pass holder has played, and I compare it to a blended rate of the category that they would be. So if it's a resident senior, a non-resident, adult, junior, and so forth. So I put in what it would have cost if a person had bought a regular discount ID card and then played the same rounds at the blended rate to get a proper comparison to the upfront charge of the annual pass. In total, we did come out slightly above. In other words, we made money, but I'm talking about 1,000 or two. However, that was done on a calendar year of rounds that ended on November 5th. So with, there's not much play in November and December, but there is still some. So I'm pretty sure if I waited until January and didn't finish, put in all those extra rounds there, we'll probably have a small loss on the passes this year.
Thank you, Mark. I noticed, I think the utilities in November were pretty high. Looking to a quick look, Mark, like about 5,000 over budget. Am I right in saying that?
You are absolutely right. Yeah, I looked because some of the rates have increased. So, and everyone at home too. You're stuck with whatever EverSource gives you. But it looks like I don't know if it's just between more work being done on the course, because there are a number of meters out there. There's a pump pit, all the different buildings, a fully working restaurant too. So we're going to have a little bit more activity. So I think between increased activity and increased rates, that's what came through.
Okay. Does anybody else have any further questions for Mark? We continue to do well. Thank you. Yeah. General Manager Jim Holliday.
Thank you, Alan. As usual, my report is within the package, and much of what I was doing this month have to do with buildings and repairs. In addition, as Paul pointed out, we've spent a lot of time with the 4UP software implementation, training, what have you. Alan mentioned a meeting that I attended with Marshall and John and Barbara. There's one item in particular that I would like to bring to your attention, and that is something that has Jim and Alan are aware of it, but it's important that the rest of the authority is aware of this. And it has to do with the house at 17 Chipping Lane, owned by Bob and Lynn Barati. Their property is adjacent to the 18th hole, and Bob has approached Jim Shell numerous times over the past, a number of years to complain about golf balls landing in their driveway. And a net was installed to stop these balls. It was effective, as they say, until it wasn't. And earlier this year, we installed a higher, larger net, which coincidentally cost $10,000. And the Baratis have 5 dents in their garage door, apparently from golf balls. All of those dents were suffered before the larger net was put up. However, 2 weeks ago, a golf ball did strike their vinyl siding. It certainly is likely as a result, or shall I say, normally when the foliage is on the trees, I don't believe a golf ball would get through. Needless to say, we do lose our leaves in Connecticut. So they suffered a hit. They were able to get their vinyl siding installer to come and replace that piece of siding. Their experience with the authority and communication hasn't been all that great, which was why I thought it was important that I share this with you. I met with them, and then after Alan, Jim and I met to just inspect, Mr. Barati was around, so I suggested we go down and chat with him, and we did. And he was very pleased that the chairman of the authority took the time to come and visit with him. I've also consulted with our attorney about the issue. The netting that we installed earlier this year was sagging a bit, and the company that is installing the fencing at the tennis courts, who installed the net, made it more rigid. So we got another couple of feet of height out of the net. In initial discussions with Mr. Barati, he seemed to be keen on the idea of having us replace his garage door, which was something that Alan suggested. The next day he contacted me and said he was not interested in that. He was interested in a solution to the problem. So this is one of these time will tell situations. But it is important that the neighbors know that that they're heard and that we are concerned. So I just wanted to share those details with you. And everything else in my report, it's all basic stuff that I do every month. If you have any questions about it, I'm happy to address them. Thank you.
Does anybody have any members have any questions for Jim at this moment in time?
Jim?
Denise.
Hi. I think I saw something that you had sent out in regards to speaking with Randy about the situation, but I'm not, what was Randy's stance on it? I thought he kind of felt that that the golf course is a golf course and that property around the golf course has to assume a certain amount of liability, or am I incorrect in that?
Denise, I would prefer to share that correspondence with you so that you can read it yourself and interpret what Randall had to say. Would that be okay? I don't have it in front of me, and I would prefer not to paraphrase. I haven't read it in 3 or 4 weeks, and I think it would be sensible. I'd be happy to share it with all the members of the authority. So why don't I send it to you and you can review it?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Jim, I would like to see that too. It's something we dealt
I'll
with
make
a
sure.
lot. This is Robert. I'd like to see that too.
Yeah,
Can you
Robert.
send me that as well? Because
Yeah, I'll make sure that every member of the authority receives a copy tomorrow.
okay, yeah. Because you can't move the golf course. We can't move the golf course. So
We can't do that.
no. So claims. We look at claims, and hopefully they're months and years apart. But there's little. I mean, I don't think there's a 100% solution. Let me say that. But yeah. But anyway, I'll look at the letter.
Very good.
Are there any other questions for Jim at this time? Okay, that closes the reports part of the meeting. Next item number 6 on the agenda is old business. Does anybody have any old business that they would like to raise at this time?
I don't know if it's old business or not, or if we've ever had a discussion about pace of play. Is that a new business question?
I don't really know, to be honest with you, but I think if you'd like to raise it, Gary, there's no issue. Why don't we talk about it if you so wish?
Yeah, I'd like Paul to make some recommendations when he gets back from Florida as to what we need to do on pace of play on the course to try and get our foursomes to play to the 4 hours and 24 minutes that we show in our rule, and how we better post our rules about groups needing to stay up with the group ahead of them. The ranger has the right to ask them to skip a hole if they're playing too slow, and those types of things. Do we need more rangers? What is it that we can do to get our pace of play so that nobody's playing a 5.5 or ridiculous time round on weekends or even during the week. Jim, I did ask you for a copy of the golfers survey that you did that was so good. I can't seem to find your results, but I know one of those was the bunkers, which we're working on. And it seems to me pace of play might have been in there as well. So I'd just like to raise that as an issue that we get a recommendation from our group as to how we can get that result for our golfers on the course.
Thank you, Gary. Any questions for Gary on this issue? Okay, our 7th item on the agenda is new business. And I'd just like to read out the actual legal notice that we put into the hour on December on the actual I think it's about 10 days ago. It states, following the public hearing, the Oak Hills Park Authority will discuss and approve the rates. And that is what we are going to be doing under new business. So I just want that to go into the minutes. So we have heard a lot of public participation, which is very healthy. We hear from the people that use the course. Speaking as the chairman, we do hear, obviously there's some issues on the table here. The one issue obviously is the changing from the 8 days to the 9 days is a very strong issue that people feel strongly about. I'm also hearing from the people who spoke at this meeting about the club is doing so well. Why do we need to raise rates? And that we should also look to take care of the Norwalk residents, who are the people that live in our town and use and play with us. So these are all things that come to the front. So I think this is something philosophically as we move forward. We really do need to think about residents rates, senior rates, increases for non-residents as we move forward. But also be careful not to alienate the 70% of the people that use the course that are from out of town and non-residents to provide a lot of our revenue for us. But I'd like to throw open the meeting for comments, discussion on what we have heard so far. There is a package in front of us that was discussed at our last meeting with the recommended rate changes, with discount cards, rate increases, and policy changes. And I believe there may be, and this is management team's recommendation to us as an authority. Management team are the people that are on the ground. These are the people that work. They're here every day. They know a lot, and it is up to us to look at these recommendations, to ask any questions, to see if they're appropriate, what we think, and to act accordingly. So I'd like to now throw the meeting open for discussion from the authority members. If anybody has any comments they'd like to make on these documents that we have.
Well, I'll go first.
Robert.
This whole idea about a lot philosophically about, and I heard this from some of the speakers about in the business world, that they do things differently, or golf is an industry, and we have to do some comparisons with the industry. It's not, in isolation. So we are a business, and government or public authorities can do their work in a business-like manner. And as our expenses rise every year, we also have to look at our fees. We have to keep up with fees. Traditionally, a lot of government entities, they wait until they're in trouble to raise fees. And that shouldn't be the way we do business. So I think even though we have done very well this year and the number of rounds and revenue, I still think you have to do things in a business-like manner. And we can't stop from doing that just because we have a surplus. And the more, as long as, things are in line and not out of order. But I've said before that, I think we need an independent fee study to really study these things from an independent party that has no, has no fight in the game there. So it can be looked as objectively. And I think even though I would probably vote for the adjustments in fees this time around, I think in the future one should come from not our own opinions or our own way of doing our analysis, but I think in the future we should try and employ a professional golf related consultant to do some pricing for us and to come up with and really look at what we're doing and how we can do things better. So I think that, those are the things I have to say. So I would probably vote for the package this year because I believe that we have to, as expenses increase, we have to increase as well.
I fully support the idea of an independent survey for next year, just to see how we can benchmark and how we can how we compare, etc. Thank you, Robert.
I'd like to address some of the thoughts about the non-resident rates. We reduced the green fees for the adult non-resident by $2, yet we didn't even raise the permit fee at all, whereas we raised the permit fees for residents and non-resident senior. And I'd like to know the rationale behind that.
I could speak briefly, and I think Mark could jump in if he likes. I do know that when we raised maybe the member rate and didn't raise a non-resident, I think, and Mark, you can tell him, but we tried to kind of get all the pricing in line. It seemed like it really wasn't in line with each other, so we tried to make it a little more consistent.
Yes. Yeah, it was kind of like when we discussed it, we thought a 1 year kind of, it may not make sense, but the some of the pricing was kind of, it was all over the place. So we said, all right, let's try to get it more in line, have it make sense in total, which did come out with, as you guys said, it does look a little weird how one thing went down $1, this went up $2. It wasn't necessarily in line for this year, but going forward, that was the mentality.
I'm
I
still
think
on.
I agree with Gary that I can't see us reducing. I say the only rate increase that's reduced is the non-resident adult rate went down $1. I mean, I don't see why a non-resident rate should go down. I know we want to kind of make it maybe to be similar to others, but I don't know. My thoughts are that should probably, if that's the only rate that's going down, it's not increasing, then I think we should increase it. My 2 cents.
I don't have any problem with any increases there.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I think the non-residents.
So
We
what
shouldn't
would we
move
then take it
forward
up
with
to, guys? Increase to $2, $1,
Yeah.
or $1 to $2? Do you think we should make that change?
Yeah, I would vote for that.
I think that we were actually talking about $2.
Okay, so instead of the line reduce non-resident adult daily rates $1, it would be increase non-resident adult rates $2. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's one thing. The other thing you might consider is increasing their permit, their discount card by $10 or $20. if you want to have their rates, everyone's rates be the same. And that would mean effectively, they'd have to play 10 more rounds to get that rate in line, type of thing. But when we also eliminated the early bird, a resident who bought the early bird, their discount card's going up $15, not $5. So that's the other thing that you eliminated, although we eliminated the non-residents as well. So if you want your discount cards for resident, non-residents to be the same, I suggest you raise non-resident discount card rates somewhat. Okay, so it's kind of up to you guys how you want your rates to look.
Yeah, this brings an issue that I raised last week too, and I really felt uncomfortable. I don't think our non-residents are paying quite enough. I think it's a great deal coming to Oak Hills for non-residents, so I support the increase for non-residents. I think that's a very sensible move.
Just some numbers here. Obviously, we're extremely busy, and some of our other competitors very busy. Sterling Farms, incredibly busy golf course. I think they're selling a limited amount of non-resident memberships for $350. That's the membership. Smith Richardson, 36 holes, $500. And then Richter Park, which is a beautiful course to play, $450. So there are some other courses that are charging non-residents, larger membership fees.
Yeah, I think we're the most generous to non-residents among our competitors.
So then, management team, do you support the increase on the resident permit cards?
I do.
Non-resident permit cards.
I say it's more in line with some of our competitors, and I believe a lot of these courses have been doing this to protect the resident because before COVID, golf wasn't so popular. It's become extremely popular, and we're just really trying to make sure they have tee times for some residents.
Okay, yeah, I mean, when you look at how many non-resident passes we have, okay, it isn't that many. We only have, somebody's got that letter somewhere. We only have about 150 non-resident cards to begin with. But I still think we ought to raise their fees somewhat and maybe consider keeping the resident fees not to go up at all. What do you think?
Well, I think we're going to put the non-resident card at $20. Is that what we're saying?
Well,
That's the first item, right?
Take it from 240 to 260? Is that what we're saying?
That's
And
your
keep
recommendation, Gary?
at least $20.
Okay.
Okay, at a minimum, and the senior card, do you want that to be 250 is 250?
I think it's fine to do the same. And to answer your question, Gary, I asked Steve about the number. We have 154 non-residents, 92
Right.
are seniors, and 62 are adults.
92 are seniors, you said, Rich?
Yeah, 92 are seniors and 62 are adults, non-residents. That came from Steve Shepard.
Okay, so the non-resident card would go $20 and the senior non-resident card would go up how much, gentlemen? Ladies?
Thought you were gonna do 20 to both.
Okay.
And just so you're aware, and this might be new for Sterling Farms this year, but they're not making any differentiation between the membership fee for a junior, senior, or a non-resident. It's all $350.
For resident and non-resident?
These are for non-residents, but they're not necessarily
Non-resident.
differentiation between a senior, a junior, or adult non-resident.
Okay. Okay.
And we're actually limiting it to either 200 or 250, I believe.
Per category or in total?
Total.
Okay, I think we can, look at a lot of things and make changes and stuff like that. I think the philosophy we're looking at here is is to increase the non-resident cards. If people want to buy a card, it's going to cost them more money, and I think that's a good thing. So are there any other changes, any other suggestions from any of the members of the authority at all? Or Gary, anything else?
Yeah, I just want to recheck on the fees. Are we going to keep the resident and non-resident fees the same?
Fees meaning what? The actual.
The adult peak weekday is 42 for a resident and 42 for a non-resident. Is that what we're doing?
You mean a non-resident who buys a pass?
Yeah, looking at the discount cards, right? So I'm saying if I have a permit or a discount card, there's a little inconsistency there. Paul, personally, I like your word member. I agree with you on your statement. It's nice to say, are you a member or not a
Yeah,
member?
I agree.
So let's just say for people who are members, are we going to keep the adult rate at 42 for both resident and non-resident? And the same thing for senior and resident and non-resident. So I'm just looking here at the peak because all of them travel the same way. So is that how we're gonna do that? Personally, I'm okay, so long as we raise the permit fees.
That was the
Yeah, I
the
think if you're a
idea.
member, you're a member, and if you're a non-resident member or a resident, I think you're a member and you're paying for the privilege. So I'm not sure if the fee should be different or not.
Yeah, the idea was to have all the daily fees the same, but the non-residents would be a higher buy-in. You know, the permit cost would be higher. And it's not my call, but I'm fine with raising the non-resident buy-in. Sure.
Yeah, I think that's what we should do. That's my recommendation.
And just so you're also aware of some other great Steve Shepherd numbers, maybe some of you have them, but he looked at 11 munis in the area, municipal golf courses. One of them is private, but 2 of the 10 do not offer non-resident passes. And 7 of the 8 who offer the non-resident the same benefit as the resident as far as the price to play golf once they pay that probably much larger membership fee.
Right, right.
And just so everybody's aware, Sterling Farms lets the non-resident member book the same during the week, but on the weekends, which is really what we're all talking about. It's the high demand rounds where Oak Hills makes its money. They're the most demand. They let the residents book 2 hours earlier on weekends over non-residents. And that's weekends.
If I want to get into the situation about actually booking rather than dollars.
Yeah, just so you know.
Okay.
Before we get into tea time booking, go ahead, Denise.
I mean, that kind of information might be really good to have before we go into repricing next year and have it written on paper so that we could all review it and just maybe have something to compare to as we look at our rates, what the other clubs are doing, instead of just, hearing about it, maybe actually seeing it on paper so that we have that information next year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think this is Robert's idea, a great idea of having maybe an independent group come in and do a survey and get it to us and give us the timelines. That would happen if they do it in advance. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, because basically there's 2 ways of looking at fees, or 2 or 3 ways. One is what is the elasticity in terms of demand? What can we really afford in Norwalk? And then there's also the local regional comparisons where people will actually, through their gut, say, Stanford's, golf courses are less than ours, or there's kind of a subjective comparison by people in terms of marketing, but that's okay to go that route too. But it's good to know what your area can actually afford, and that's where you come when you have independent demand elasticity study. And it's not always that you take the demand, but you know what it is. You know where your limits are. And that's why I think it's good to do that. And as Denise said, you can compare the local on paper, you know, it's documented to the elasticity. That's kind of what we've done in parks this year, and we're going to be recommending some modifications and adjustments. And it's not coming from Robert Stowers. It's not coming from Ken Hughes. It's coming from an independent body that says this is what you can afford, but these are the options. And so they have a local comparison as well as a demand. And so it's up to the mayor then and it'll be up to our board then to select whichever way they want to go. But at least you know what is doable.
Yep. Thank you.
Mhm.
Mark, could you take the screensaver down now? Do you think is that possible?
You want me to stop sharing?
Well, that's actually, let me
Well,
ask
can we,
another.
can we
Gary,
hold
keep
that?
going.
Yeah,
What do
can
you
we
got,
hold
Gary?
that just for a sec? So since we talked about increasing the regular discount cards, can we look at the unlimited at the same time? And are we charging enough to non-residents for unlimited?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that brings up a
Exactly.
good question. I never saw even the increases from last year to this year. I don't know. I was looking for that. I couldn't find even the increases from last year to this
Yeah,
year.
Mark showed this on a sharing screen, but we didn't get a copy of it.
Mhm.
Thanks.
There was no increase in annual pass pricing.
And that's due to the fact that we propose to take the extra day away.
I still think the non-residents should be slightly higher. Why don't we make it 3,000
I
for the
agree.
non-resident adult and 2,500 for the senior?
I agree.
No
I
problem.
like that idea.
Paul, are you okay with making that change?
Yeah, I think our fees are very fair. I anticipate as many, if they get 8 days and not that extra day, I don't anticipate as many sold this year.
So, just so I'm clear, the non-resident annual pass then would go to what? How much, guys? 3,000, is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
From 2,500?
Well,
And
it was- no, it was
29.10.
29. It was actually 29.
I'm sorry, my apologies.
Can you see
29
the
to
change that I
300,
made?
and the senior annual pass would go from what to what?
2,360 to 2,500.
I've made the changes. Are you able to see them on this shared screen?
Yeah, I am. I see
Yeah.
them.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
See the new
Sorry.
ones, you can't see the old ones. Yeah.
I keep the juniors the same.
Yeah,
Thing.
we raised their rates quite a bit. And I don't think we have too many junior non-residents, but I don't know if we can tell that.
Mhm.
You know, Paul, I think you described that the last time, that the juniors got a real bargain here.
I'd say comparatively and to elsewhere, yeah, they got a real bargain. And they, other than the money, they like to play Oak Hills.
Yeah, I just think doing stuff for the juniors. I don't know how many juniors, you know, we have on the course, but I think that's the way you get new golfers. So
Yeah, I agree.
I agree. I will say I feel much better now than I did earlier. I believe in taking care of our residents before the non-residents,
Mhm.
looking at everybody that supported us when we were challenged, right? Now we're doing well. So giving back, you know, making sure we're doing right by them. So I gotta say I'm feeling much better now. Thank you.
Jennifer, I'm glad you're feeling better.
I am feeling better. Yes.
So Mark, can you change it on the 240 to 260 and the 230 to 250 on the upper?
share screen.
Yeah, everything so far is a recommendation. I need to hear from
Okay.
Paul. Paul has to approve that.
I see.
I can approve that.
So I'm gonna go 260 for non-resident adult discount card. And I'll go 250 on senior.
And
I'd
we're
also-
leaving the per day, per week price the same as resident and non-resident.
Yeah, I personally like that. I think, you know, it's uniformity, conformity, it's cleaner look. And they're buying extra, but you know, once they pay, that's the benefit for a non-resident. Once they buy in, then they have the same rates as residents. I think that's fair.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Alan,
Um,
I don't know if Mark, I think Robert kind of addressed the issue on fees. But yeah, I think we need to increase fees for our increased costs. I mean, I think you described that. We have the minimum wage went up on us, which was a surprise last year. I think we're paying more for Jim's maintenance crews. And they're doing every time, yeah, they do a fabulous job, and I think we need to hold on to that. Plus, we're not really making a profit because we take the money that we make on the course and we put it back into the course. So we're making the capital additions and the repairs that have been ignored over years with the money that we're able to make on the course right now.
So Gary, you bring up a really great point on, you know, there is so much deferred maintenance still left to do on the course that wasn't able to be done in years past because the course wasn't doing very well. Now we are doing relatively okay, and we're paying our debt. We're paying off the equipment that we leased, you know, to keep the park in great shape, and the carts that we get. And then we do capital improvements, but there's still a lot of capital improvements have to be done. There's major irrigation issues, major water issues that are going to be coming up as we go along. So, you know, there's still a lot of deferred maintenance to be done, and it's so important to us.
Right. And so I think what, you know, yes, we're making some money, but it's all being put back into the facility. So that's kind of where we are on continuing to increase rates. And I agree with Paul, it's $1 here, $1 there. But I also agree with Robert, and I think we all agree that we ought to get the study going as soon as possible and get that discussion so that we have that analysis prepared for us during the year here. So.
Does any of the authority members have any comments or any questions on the reduction from 9 days to 8 days for the annual pass holders?
Yeah, I do, of course. I think there were a lot of points made by the public. And I think we need to address them. Paul, I think you need to first say what was the rationale to take the additional day away from our unlimited golfers who certainly helped the course get over a hard time. I don't know if it continues to be the same people or not, but I think these are golfers that are the core and heart of Oak Hills. So if you could give your rationale for taking.
Sure. I think it was somewhat simple. You know, back when we started this, we didn't have any money, and we needed to get some money in a hurry to get the golf course open. I think there was an insurance bill to pay. And I can remember how Eddie wasn't sure they were going to go for the annual unlimited pass, and to encourage a lot of quick sales, it was decided to give an extra day. It's really not that uncommon, we found, in the golf business, that people are getting an extra day to book like that. I don't think we need the upfront revenue anymore. But I think most importantly, we're just trying to be fair to the over 1,200 members who've really gotten boxed out of tee times the last many years. Simple as that. Trying to be a little more fair to the majority of the golfers in Norwalk.
Is that a tee time all week or just on the weekend?
I would, well, presently it would be tee times, 7 days a week.
You believe it's tea time 7 days a week?
What we found out is 7 of the 8 offer the same benefits to non-resident golfers as the residents. But I can see how these other golf courses, it's gotten very busy. COVID, golf's become a popular sport. And I can see how some of them restricted tee times or guaranteed their residents tee times on the weekends. You just got to be careful because you could turn it into a semi-private golf course. And like Alan said, a lot of our revenue is coming from some great non-residents who really support our golf course.
So.
Go ahead, Gary.
Go ahead. No, you go. I don't want to always, I'm the golfer. I don't want to always be talking.
I'm not the golfer, but I'm trying to think through, like, so when we were struggling, we put this program in place so that we could get upfront money to be able to keep the course going. Here we are, we're doing well. We don't necessarily, I won't say need the upfront money, but we're not desperate times as we once were. What is the benefit on the 9 days versus the 8 days? Like, what is that extra day? What's the impact there?
Basically, a lot of the tee times, even the first year, you couldn't get a tee time unless you're an unlimited pass holder till 12 o'clock. Then it went to 11 because we reduced the number, and it could be 10 o'clock. But basically what happens is you give a group of people that extra day, they just jump on all the early tee times.
But even if we give them 8 days, which is what you're looking to do, I guess what I don't understand is if people, the general public can book how many days out?
7.
7. And anyone that holds these cards or passes can book 9. So what does that extra day do for them?
You're missing the discount ID holders. Our other members have 8 days. So this would put the so the 50 have the jump on the 1200, and then there's the general public.
I get it. You're putting them on a level playing field with everybody else.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
I had heard a lot of our regular discount ID card holders had made a lot of complaints.
But is there, and I believe somebody had mentioned it earlier, and it was actually one of those things, and I had a good point. And it was Troy. Is there a way that we could maybe make an exception 1 week a month and allow these guys to book the 9 days and like give them something that gives them a little bit more of a hedge, since they are the people that kind of kept us going through those darker days? Is there something we could do there? If it was like 1 weekend a month, they can book 9 days out?
We'd have to look into our new software program, see if that was possible.
Right. I don't know, Paul. I'm just trying to think because they were there for us. And I don't want to, I'm just trying to think what could be something that we could do to help support that piece as a continuing.
Jennifer, if I may remind you that there is the benefit of being able to fund their golf for the year. So they can play as much golf as they want or as they can at a fixed price. That is a significant benefit to the limited and unlimited memberships.
Right.
We can't lose sight of that.
No, I hear you. I hear you. I just am listening to everybody today. It's a bone of contention, and I just didn't know if there, I mean, again, these guys were there for us when we needed them. I just didn't know if there was something that could be tweaked a little bit in their favor to make it that much more sweeter for them. But that's just my thoughts.
Can I just ask again, how many unlimited passes are there? How many people have those unlimited passes?
I have some numbers here. 52 were sold total. 27 are senior residents. 5 are resident adults. 3 are non-resident seniors, 6 are resident adults, non-resident adults, I'm sorry, and 2 family. So you can see 27 of the 43, which are unlimited, are seniors. Of the 9 unlimiteds, 8 are resident seniors and 1 is a resident adult. So looks like 35 of the 52 total are seniors.
So seniors are taking advantage of, because they play a lot, because they have the time.
Yep.
They're taking advantage of the time of the actual, number of times they can play. It's a deal for them somewhat.
And you can assume a lot of them are probably retired.
Mhm.
But the numbers to me are low. I've always been surprised at the low numbers for non-resident seniors and non-resident adults, even resident adults. But, they're working.
Are there any other authority members that haven't weighed in on this thing? I wonder. I mean, I don't know, TJ, if you wanted to, what your thoughts are on. You are a golfer. I don't know if you're still here at the moment, whatever. But it might be just to find out if you have any thoughts on it, TJ, if you're here.
Yeah, he's there. Can you hear us?
Yeah,
There you
sorry,
can.
I can hear you. Yeah, sorry, I can hear you now. Yeah, I don't know. This is a tough one for me because I do feel like the unlimited members, I mean, they are getting some advantage of it in terms of rounds that they're going to play. Then they do get that benefit. But at the same time, one of the I do know that there are some people that probably don't even play the rounds, but they took advantage of the unlimited membership to be able to book the early tee times. So I don't know. I don't know I don't really know what's the right answer here. But I mean, I do think that I do think that offering memberships, even if we increase the rate, because that's maybe another option, which is to give those people the advanced tee times, but then increase the rate by a pretty significant amount and see how many takers we get on that. It's also a possible thought.
Yeah, that's, I think, and this is Robert again. I think that.
Sorry, Robert, before you go, what's the rate right now for the unlimited?
29.10.
You said 29.10?
Adult.
That's a non-resident.
Non-resident. The residents, 2,675.
Yeah, like if you went up by, let's just say, $1,000 on each of them.
That's an option.
Yeah, I think that's an option. I think Mark, I think earlier was saying that there was a slight positive, but if we were to go a few more months, it would be a slight negative. So I think, if we can factor in what it's kind of doing analysis on what it's costing and cover that cost, like TJ is saying, I think it makes sense then. But I don't know, but there has to be an analysis done.
I mean,
because I think on unlimited, theoretically, and it just depends how much play you get, but theoretically, unlimited passes in most arenas are, in the long run, you actually lose money in the long run. But if you can figure out what that delta is and cover that with the increase, that would be okay.
Well, but so two things on that. Number one, yeah, passes like this, I think Troy brought it up before. You're meant to sell them at a discount because you're getting money up front in hand.
Right.
And if, as he said, we discussed this, if somebody gets injured, moves away or whatever it is, that's free money in our pocket. So
Right.
I'm a little hesitant to raise it up, especially $1,000 on those two categories in the same year that we're taking away booking privileges.
Well, yeah, sorry. So I was saying that in order to keep booking privileges, I would say that maybe increasing it, because I think there might be some people that would pay the extra money just to have those booking privileges. I definitely wouldn't increase and take away the booking privileges.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't do both.
And one more thing. So, as I am heading up this long range planning committee from a golf course perspective and doing some different things like that, I think one of the things that, we also were thinking about from a longer range planning standpoint is that if some of our ideas that we have come to fruition over the long run, then I think that some of the more memberships are probably going to be warranted. And so I'm also trying to keep that in mind as I'm making these comments now.
So one thought I had is that how many people, I mean, we have 1,250 permit holders, members, and 50 unlimited. Is that how it works, or does the 1,250, is it 50 and 1,200?
It's about 1,250 in total.
12. So it's 50 of the unlimited and 1,200 of other people that pay a membership. And the ones that are not happy, I believe, are the members who pay whatever it is, and they're not able to get on the course between 6 and 8, especially on the weekends and maybe Thursdays and Fridays. And how many of those are really unhappy about that? And basically we have 50 people who are able to book a day in advance because they have supported us and put money out, and they decide if it's worth it to them and stuff like that. So how do we balance the numbers and is it, Paul, that people are unhappy because they can't get on the course during the times that they want, and it's always the same people? Is that what's happening here pretty much, do you think?
I've been spoken to by a few longtime local Norwalk resident golfers, and they said, I used to be able to play here earlier. Now I can't play here earlier anymore. And they've been supporting that golf course ever since the place was built.
Yeah.
Paul, I have one more question too. How many other clubs have this extra day for booking on the unlimited pass?
From what I've been told, there's none.
So there's no other competitors that have this extra day. We're the only ones.
Yes.
My general thought is, if these pass holders get the good deal for the pass and no other courses have it, and the regular golfers get a little bit more opportunity, I'm fine with eliminating.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's I don't want to influence people, but that's just my global thinking here. But everybody needs to decide what,
and it's based on this thing too. We're going to have it looked at globally next year. We make a commitment to look at the whole thing much more better than we have this year. I feel sorry maybe that we're hurting some of the golfers, but we're going to be looking at it much more carefully next year. And so I hang my hat on that.
Yeah. Does anybody else have anything else to say on any more matters? Anything else?
Yeah, I wasn't clear on what Rich meant. So then we would keep the extra day for the unlimited this year?
My argument is
no.
Yeah, not keep it.
There's no other local courses have the extra day. None of them
Not keep it.
And so we're kind of more in line with what our competitors are doing, and it's going to help more of the golfers open up space. And we're going to have it looked at more comprehensively next year, and that'll give us even a better idea of whether we made the right call or not.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that we would obviously look at is the amount of unlimited memberships, or the amount of money that we bring in up front from those memberships that comes in with people knowing that they're not going to get the extra day, and we can see how that, if it has any impact or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true, TJ. It's very true.
All right, I'd like to make two comments, but somebody else want to go ahead?
No, go ahead, Gary.
Okay, I have Mark's analysis of the unlimited and that he talked about, he did in November. And about 20, in this November analysis, 26 people didn't break even. Okay, and only, this is, I'm not talking about the limited ones, I'm only talking about the full ones. And only 16 golfers did we lose money on, okay, is what's here. If we don't give the extra day to unlimiteds, I would think that those 26 people would not take the unlimited. So I would like to propose, okay, a slightly different method, which is nobody can book 9 days in advance. Okay, but 8 days in advance, those people who are members and belong to the Oak Hills Golf Associations get a window of only 2 hours, okay, from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. to book their time. This, I would hope, might increase membership in the organizations. And then after 2 hours, 8 days in advance, the booking is opened for all discount or all members. That's would be the whole 1,200. Last year, there were 250 people in the men's club. If that membership went back to what it used to be of 500, you'd be saying that 55% of your membership, okay, roughly, would have the ability to book time 2 hours before all other members. I throw that out as an idea.
So let me just, can I just, I'm gonna say, so you're taking away the 9th day from the unlimited pass, but giving them the
Yes.
2 hours. And
No,
expect-
I'm taking it away. Yes, I'm taking it away from but they don't get any, they get the same opportunity if they are a member of the men's club to have a 2-hour window 8 days in advance.
Right, so you're getting rid of the 9-day, but you're giving them a 2-hour window along with the members of the women's and men's club?
Yes.
I kind of like that, but I don't know how hard it is.
So now what we're saying is that we had 1,250 people, 50 people who are on the unlimited pass and 1,200 that are on the regular passes. Now we want to take 200 of the men's golf association and however many of the women's, and give them the ability before the other members to be able to book 2 hours in advance. Which would that then mean that they would be the ones that would then be taking most of the 6 to 8 tee times and early morning tee times more so than the other people? Now I understand that the men's association do pay more money, they pay to join and stuff like that. So I'm just not sure how that would work, to be honest with you, how that would go down. But
well, they're paying. Well, I think one of the things that does is that encourages, if you want to be able to book a little bit ahead of everybody else, join the men's club. Yes, it's $85 or $90, whatever it is. We beef up that membership, and those are your core golfers. So
Yeah, but
you've given your core golfers 2-hour advantage.
So now we're going to have 500 players with a 2-hour advantage. I don't know.
I wonder if the system can handle that.
Oh, yeah, the system can handle it because
They
it
can
handled the unlimited. You did, if you're a member of the Oak Hills Golf Associations, okay, that's what goes in the system.
It'll nullify the advantage because I think when you get to when we swell to 500 people trying to book times in a 2-hour slot, I think we're going to run into the same issues. Yeah.
Why?
Well, it's going to nullify the advantage because they're still going to get blocked out because 500 people going for just a few tee times, there's only a few slots, you know.
Well, how many of those members, how many of those other people don't, they only play on the weekend?
I have no idea.
I throw it out as a suggestion.
I
We
go
had a
back,
problem with 52 people and people couldn't get times. What's gonna happen when you open it up to that many
Yeah.
people?
yeah,
Oh, but
I-
that might be most of the people that are complaining. They have an opportunity. There's no advantage. Join the men's club or the women's club, and you get 2 hours over other members.
I just worry about having another separate class of people, and we're fighting. It's not easy now taking it away from people, and if we had to take, I don't know. I just worry about that situation, but everybody needs to kind of make their own minds up concerning that.
Let me ask a question about the new booking system. How many people can log on at once?
I'm sure a lot. I don't know if we've asked that question or they told us the answer, but
Can
Yeah.
1,200 people log on at once?
I'm not sure. It'd be like Amazon or something. We could find out.
I think we need to know the answer to that question.
You know, one thing I want to say is that I've been told by numerous people that people are still going to get their tee times. Not everybody wants to play early. Not everybody wants to play late. I mean, you had 500 people in the men's club before, and it really wasn't an issue as far as getting tee times. This is just 1 year. Whether we go one direction or the other, we could try it and see how it works.
I suggest we try it.
The other thing too is, I mean, I'm looking at the rates. I personally don't believe $30 for a senior to play during the week, during the peak time is a lot, or $45 for a resident adult to play on the weekend. It's really not a lot. And Golf Now has told us, as far as rates go, when they see our utilization rates as high as they are, they do not believe we're charging enough money. So that's kind of one indication.
Well, these are the rates you proposed.
I agree with.
think
Yeah, I'm
Robert's
just telling you
right.
what-
Yeah.
I think as time marches on, I think, Gary, what you have as a suggestion is an interesting suggestion. It's kind of tough that it's right at this level where we do have to take a vote, because the new year, the year starts January 1st. I do think that it's something that could be done. I just wonder if we should do it now, as if not the same as we're going to look at the rates for the 50 people. Do we bring that back at all? And once we got a lot more information and a lot more thought about it, we could probably consider it for next year. I just worry about putting it in right now at this time, but that's just my thoughts. So anyway, any other thoughts on this, guys, gals?
Now you got my thinking. I think it's worth trying.
Okay.
You're taking away a 9th day for these unlimited, and you're trying to, our men's and women's associations are our core golfers.
Back in the bag.
I think you're giving them a nice penny, and I think you would probably deal with most of the people that are complaining.
Want me to make your food?
Let me see, Gary,
Yeah.
are you proposing that for just weekends or for 7 days a week?
I I defer to Paul for that. Usually, during the week,
Days a week.
I don't know, but my feeling is, he's got to tell us what the system can do it, but I'm willing, I'd say let's try it on the weekends first, and then if there's no issues, we don't hear anything, then just leave it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. The weekend seems to be the problem.
I'm not familiar with clubs who do that for the men's club. I think they do it for the golf membership, the members, not necessarily the men's club. And just so you know, the women's association really only plays on Wednesday. They also play at 2 other golf courses. And we just charge them a $40 fee for the 18 holers to pay on Wednesday only. And the 9 holers pay $25 just to play
But
9 holes.
Don't the women play other than Wednesday?
A little bit, but not a lot of them. I mean, a lot of them, they go to their other golf courses as well.
Well, I'm just saying this might incent them to play here. I don't know. I'm just saying I wouldn't exclude them from that type of proposal. Who knows? Maybe that'll increase their membership.
All right, so how do we want to move forward on this? I worry about going from a 50-person problem to a maybe 500-person, 200-person problem.
Why would it be a 500-person problem?
Well, you eventually get up to people, you're encouraging people to join, then obviously people would join the Golf Members Association, and then they would, more and more people as they join would have the ability to book the 2 hours advance, 2 hours advance as well.
So then we're opening the pool.
Of
Okay.
the golf set, yeah.
We're
Paul, are
opening
there
the
any other
pool
clubs that
who
you
want to
know
get an
of,
early tee time.
associations that are able to book tee times in advance?
Can you repeat that?
Are there any other golf courses in the area that have associations that give those associations the ability to book a tee time 2 hours in advance compared to other permit holders?
No, from what I've been told, no.
Okay, all right. So it would be something new.
And if there is any booking for anyone ahead of time, it's for a golf membership, not necessarily a club.
For a membership, yeah, okay.
And
Understood.
Paul, did you get an answer from Sterling whether I can buy a time?
Oh, I don't think you can do that. I don't know where you heard that from.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Gary, is it worth taking a straw poll amongst us authority members of what we think of your suggestion? Would that be something we could do you think?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. So why don't we just go through and, let's take a straw poll amongst us what we think about Gary's suggestion. And I'll just go down names as I see them here. I'll go first. Well, I won't go first. Denise, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm just not sure. It's just a brand new idea, and it's sort of a selected group. I understand that, Gary, you want to try to bump up the association and bring it back up to where it used to be. But I'm just not sure if focusing on that one group and giving them that advantage is a good idea. So I guess.
Probably a no, right?
Sorry?
Okay, so if we just say yes or a no, what would you think?
I guess I'm saying no.
Okay. Gary, I presume you're a yes, right?
I'm a yes.
Jennifer?
I think there's a lot of logistics that need to be worked through and a lot of different pieces that need to be kind of looked at. So I'm going to say no, but to table it for later and next year.
Richard?
I like the idea, but I'm worried about it working and creating other problems. And so I'd like to have it looked at more comprehensively in terms of what Robert suggested and as part of that package. And so for this year, I'm afraid I'd say no.
Robert?
I would think the same thing. It's an interesting idea, like I said, but I think things need to be looked at comprehensively, and I think that we stick with the idea of eliminating the 9-day as proposed. And Gary's idea is very interesting. You know, we'd like to look at it specifically in terms of this comprehensive study.
TJ.
Oh, man. I don't know. To me, it's just more about what's going to be better for Oak Hills. So on both sides, you're going to have, I think that for the people that want the unlimited and want to be able to book in advance, like that's a big deal for them. And on the people that aren't willing to pay it, they're upset, but at the same time, they're not willing to pay the money to be able to do that. So you're never gonna. I don't think we're gonna come up with any solution that's gonna please either side. So to me, it's more about what's fiscally better for us and the golf course. I don't know. I kind of lean towards the side of continuing. If people are willing to pay extra money and pay that extra money up front, I'm kind of willing to give them the benefit of being able to book in advance.
So this is in relations to Gary's proposal on the golf, the golf members booking between 6 and 8, right, TJ?
Yeah, I would say something of that. I guess just something of being able to have the advantage of booking early if they're willing to pay upfront in advance. That to me makes some sense.
So you'd be a yes then, right?
I would be a yes.
Okay. Gary, I think there's merit in what you're talking about, and I think something could be done. It's just, to me, just too short notice, and I think if we work on it in this upcoming year and see what happens, we could do something like this and review it in a lot more time. So I don't think we should take it off the table. I think we should just table it. And so I'm a no at this time. So I think it looks at the way at the moment that we have five people that voted no, and then 2 for yes. So
I'm just wondering.
5 no's are basically not discarding it, but not maybe implementing it this year. So I think that's where we are.
Well, I'd like to take it one step further, and if that's not going to be done today, I suggest we have 3 months before the season opens, and that we do a little bit of study on this and work it out. I'm not sure everyone understands what I'm saying here. I think we need to know that, yes, the system can do exactly what I'm saying. And I think we ought to survey some of our, the men's club and a couple of other things. And I don't feel bad about being different from other public courses. I think we have a real good set of golfers. And if we have 1,200 permit holders, maybe they'll all be part of the men's club, and when they hear this, or men's or women's club, and maybe they say, hey, that's a good idea, and then eventually nobody has an advantage. But if you had most of your permit holders as part of your associations, there begins to be less and less advantage to anyone booking time, because everyone has that same 2-hour window. So I think we ought to study it before the season starts, see if we can implement it.
Yeah, I think that's fine, because we're not talking about rates, because we're really talking about rates at this moment in time, more so than booking periods of time. So I don't know what the thoughts are of the rest of the authority. I have no issue of doing some further resource and perhaps bringing it back to another meeting when we've got a lot more information. And to see, I don't know what other people's thoughts are on that.
So I think we could, if I understand this right, we'd vote on the rates as it's displayed in the table as it is and put the issue of the extra day along with Gary's suggestion on
No,
a,
I think the extra day, I think we would keep, Rich, but the actual idea of Gary's idea would be up for discussion and for more looking at more, you know, facts that we look at.
Wait, I heard you
Oh.
say that the unlimited are gonna have the book 9 days in advance, or is that going away?
Has to be limited.
That will be eliminated.
Would be eliminated, okay.
Yes, I think
Right.
that's important.
so we would vote on this schedule with the understanding that there would be 8 days right currently for everybody, the unlimited and everyone else. That would be what the vote would be for?
No, or it would be for anyone who is an unlimited, they're considered a member, plus all your discount card members.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what we're looking at, we have the recommended rate changes for 2025. There's a document that we had. We spoke about discount cards, rate increases, and policy changes. I believe the changes that we have, which are different from what's printed on the page, is where it says reduced non-resident adult rates by $1. That would change to increase non-resident adult rates to $2 from the rate increases. Under policy changes, it does say eliminate the extra day booking advantage for unlimited daily annual pass holders. We did make some changes. The non-resident card would go up $20 to $260. The non-resident senior card would go up $20 to $250. I think this is correct. Hopefully, please tell me if I'm wrong. And then there was some talk about the annual, was the talk about the annual passes going up?
Yes.
Non-resident from 2,900 to 3,000.
Mhm.
And the senior non-resident going from 2,360 to 2,500. Those are the notes that I took. Mark, is that correct to the best of your knowledge?
I think we need
Yes.
to look at the rate schedule that Mark still has on the screen and see if you summarize that properly.
Okay.
Yeah, the one
Mark?
that I think is still not adjusted is the non-resident adult discount card for off-peak. And off-peak weekday and off-peak weekend.
So what's the
uh,
suggestion?
Oh,
I thought we were just changing the actual permit cards and not, well, the rates were going up $2, right? For the non-resident,
Yep.
non-resident adult daily rates.
I don't think so. I think what we did is we made all rates the same for resident and non-resident, so long as they were a member. Are you saying the non-member, no membership adults?
I was just looking at rate increases, the piece of paper, and the only one that reduced was the non-resident adult daily rates. Seemingly went down $1, but we said no. The non-resident adult daily rates should go up $2. So that's like a $3 swing by the looks of it.
That's
I
the
need
one
Mark, I need Mark to comment on that one.
Yeah.
Not me. I just put through the changes.
Well,
Where-
which rate is being reduced?
I think
Rich-
what
non-resident
happened-
daily rate is being reduced.
What happened was the suggestion of the daily fee rate was increased, or the membership card was increased. And it was decided on the membership card.
Right, that the membership cards we've done, the non-resident cards going up $20, and the senior cards going up $20. It was just the actual rate increase, because on the piece of paper, you reduce the rates. The non-resident adult daily rates were down $1, but we put them up $2.
Hey,
all.
hey, wait a minute. Who put up 2025 course rates on the website? I just went to the website to look at 24 rates, and the 25 rates are on the website.
Those are, I think, proposed rates.
Those are
are-
the proposed ones.
No,
Gary.
no, I am looking at the website. I just went to the Oak Hills site.
Those are new.
Excuse me,
please
Gary.
Can you please remove 2025 course rates on the website?
No,
No, we have
Excuse
to.
me, Gary.
We had to buy under the notice. We had to put them on the website, Gary.
the public
Today,
is aware.
before we
Yes.
vote on them?
These are proposed.
Proposed, yes.
It doesn't
proposed.
say proposed on the website. Somebody go on the website and look.
Excuse me, Gary. The link that sends you to those rates says proposed rates for 2025.
Not what I'm looking
go-
at.
you go-
I'll send you what I'm looking at.
I've
Okay?
already reviewed it, and when you go to the home page, it says new proposed rates for 2025. Click here.
It does.
And
It's
then-
a- Yes, it's a little pop-up box that say to view proposed 2025 rates.
All right.
Thank
but-
you.
Okay, now if you will go to course and then course rates.
But
Okay, it
to
shows
Gary's point,
2025. I don't see anything that says proposed.
to Gary's point, once you click on that box, it brings you into 25 course rates and it doesn't say anywhere about it being proposed. So
And
it's
they're
not-
not the rates that we're talking about right now on the.
No, Gary,
in the meeting.
under the legal notice, okay? Under the legal notice, we had to put these rates on the website, okay? And we had to give the people two options, put them on the website. They can contact go into the pro shop, or they can contact the club to get the proposed rates so they can look at them before this meeting.
Well, Alan, here, can you get on the website and look at course and then click course rates? Not the view now, go click course rates.
What Gary's saying, it should probably say proposed in both places, man.
Yeah, it's just
Exactly.
proposed in both places, correct?
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, but those aren't even the ones that we're talking about right now to approve.
Well, I know, we're making changes. We
changes.
did make some they were the ones that we originally were looking at. Now we're making some changes, I believe. Right?
Yep.
But we did have to put something on the website to what our proposed changes were for us to vote on. Now we're voting on them. We're making some changes before we vote, I
Well,
think.
all I'm saying is the course rates, when you go to the website, you
Right.
should still have 2024 rates there because that's what they are. We're still
Well,
at 2024.
Gary, once you go on the website, as soon as you go on the website, it says proposed rates for 2025 are now displayed. View now. That's what it says on the website.
Mhm.
As soon as you get onto the website, that's what it says.
Yeah, but the 2025 course rates and memberships don't say proposed.
We
When
can
you go
fix
to
that
that,
too.
when you go to that page.
Doesn't reiterate it again.
I
but it
know. We should have said proposed 2025 course rates and membership. It was on the banner that led into it, but it's not in the actual thing. Anyway, I guess the question is, do we have the right numbers that we can vote on?
I'll go back to what I said earlier, Alan. And I
Yep.
think you said this, and it goes back to Alex Knopp's comment about the reduction for rates for the non-resident adult discount card. I don't think that has been changed on the screen yet. It's still on my screen at 34.
Correct.
And last
Yeah.
year it was 35. And I think what we said is we wanted to go from up $2, and so it should go from 34, I think, to 38 or something like that.
Right. Right.
Or I think that's the only one that's wrong.
Yes.
Two of them, for the off-peak and for peak.
I just
The
want
one-
to point out one thing. I know that it's just a little math thing here. If you look, $32 versus $32 for the off-peak weekday, there's a fraction in there. That's why it's showing as a -1, but it's not -1. It's simply staying the same for that one. The other one went from $35 to $34.
Okay. So we should take the 35 to 37. And what was the other one, Mark?
The 32?
Was it originally 32?
Yeah,
Yes.
nothing's changed. Yeah.
Okay, it should go from 32 to 34 and 35 to 37, because we said $2 more added on.
Now,
But then that takes away the non-residents no longer get the same rates as residents. So just keep that in mind once they buy the card. So we just charge them an extra $20 for the membership, and we're jacking these rates up $3 as well.
Well, we don't want to reduce them, put it that way. We said we didn't want to reduce them, correct?
I think the reduce is not correct.
So are you talking about off-peak times? Off-peak rates for the
Mark,
non-resident?
Both are off peak, yes.
Okay. Off-peak and then off-peak weekend.
Yes, there were two off-peak that were going to go down $1. Those are still ones that weren't adjusted on this screen. The only two that I don't think were changed as our discussion, if I had it correct.
So is it plus $2 for both of those, 32 and 34? So 32 is going to go to 34 and 34 is going to go to 36. Is that what we had discussed? Up $2 for those times?
Yeah, I think whatever had originally been put on that table needs to go up by $2 for those two tables.
Mark, can you put the 2024 rates on this? Can you take down this screen share and put the 2024 rates on this page?
Yeah, I just had that up. Are you seeing it?
Nope.
Oh, I keep going back and forth.
Oh.
2025.
2025.
Can you take this worksheet down and put the 2024 rates on this worksheet that you have up right now?
Is this? Can you see this now? This is the other file.
Is that the comparison?
Yeah, that's what we were looking at. The ones we're talking about was the non-resident adult discount card with which went down for off-peak weekday and off-peak weekend. I thought we had agreed that we were going to go down. We're going to go slightly up on that number.
Right. 32.
Yeah, no, this isn't good, Mark, because I don't know. You have 1/125 on both of these columns, both of these groupings.
Oh,
so
sorry. Yeah, that's
that's no good. I need the 2024 rates.
They
on-
are the 20 right here. Look,
It's on a different tab.
no, it's right here.
Oh.
On the right side, on the right side.
Yes.
Okay.
You see that I just moved it down one. You can see the top name, and I just changed 2025
Okay.
to 2024. Yep.
All right, but then on the 2025 rates, that's not what we have on the other page.
I keep one Bible. I'm doing it on one page. So when we decide what to do here, I'm going to go to the other page and put through the changes there.
Okay, so what rate was reduced by $2?
Nothing was reduced by $2.
It was by $1 each.
$1 for the off-peak weekend only. The off-peak weekday was 32. It's still 32. It's showing as a -1 below because there's a fraction in there.
Oh, I see.
So can we take the off-peak weekday up to 34?
That's your suggestion, yeah. Paul, you good with that?
Yeah.
What was the other one, Rich?
The other one was the off-peak weekend that was 35 last year. It should at least be 35, if not 36.
Okay, make it 36.
Agreed.
Okay.
Okay.
Um,
And I think that's it.
hold on. I will do this first right here. 34. 36.
Yeah, those are the two that I thought we had talked about. I wasn't trying to make it more complicated, but those are the two that Alex and I talked
Yep.
about. And I think he's right. So
So that does it for the rate increases. The policy change of eliminating the extra day booking advantage for unlimited daily annual pass holders is there. And I think that's it.
I'm good with this.
Does anybody have any questions? Are we ready to take a vote?
It looked more balanced now.
Okay, all those in favor of accepting the 2025 increases as shown, I will call your name out, and if you would just say yay or nay as we go through, or abstention. Denise Brown,
Yay.
Gary Leeds,
Yay.
Jennifer McAllister,
Yay.
Richard Dellinger,
Yay.
Robert Stowers. You there, Robert? TJ?
There he
Hey,
is.
Robert. Yay
Yeah,
or
I'm
nay
still
on-
here.
on the
I'm still here.
changes?
I went away for a minute.
Sorry. We're just taking a vote on the changes that are on the screen at the moment that we went through. Is it a yay or a nay?
Yes, yay for me.
TJ Tramboli,
Yay.
Alan Dutton, yay. So we are unanimous in our vote to accept the rate changes and policy changes and discount cards for 2025. Thank you all.
Okay,
Very-
you didn't have in your proposal that I think you need maybe another vote that the only thing that we've approved so far is that the unlimited pass people no longer have a 9-day advance. I think we should have some sort of vote on that.
On the, I thought I included the policy changes, Gary, where I said eliminate extra day booking advantage for unlimited daily annual pass holders. I believe I included
so-
that in my
On your
list.
proposal? Does everyone agree with that, Alan, so long as you say you did that, okay?
Would you like a separate vote on that, or did I include it in my original proposal?
Richard, is that what you heard?
Yeah, that was my question earlier. I thought Alan made it clear that the rates and the 8-day for everyone was part of the motion.
For all members? Okay, fine. Okay,
That was my understanding.
okay.
Okay, but I do think that as well as what Gary's proposal for the what he brought to the table today should definitely be discussed during the next 3 months, and we will continue talking about it at meetings and come to some form of a decision in the very near future.
And Gary, the only thing I mean, I know you talked about surveying, which I like surveying, getting more input, but I think it should go beyond. I think all members should be part of it. I don't think it just should be the members of the men's and women's club, because obviously they have the advantage. I think it's a question for like every member that should.
Well, that's why I think Jim did a great survey
Yeah.
earlier, and I think we ought to go back and look at that. And maybe we should, modify that and send that out again.
Yeah, I mean, I think it should go to all golfers, though. That's my point, not just.
That's fine. No, I don't disagree. I don't know how many replies he got or that type of stuff.
Yeah, you don't, but at least we're not excluding anyone. Otherwise, it looks, I mean, I think the members would go for it, the unlimited would go for it, but I'm not sure the other ones would go for exception.
Yeah, because I think for the long range planning, I'd like to get my hands on the survey because I think we're satisfying the bunkers and I'd like to see, that's why I brought up pace of play. My recollection, that was another item. And I just think there could be things we could be working on that were mentioned and get them
Oh,
ready
great.
for the new season, you know, and
Great point. Yeah. Great
and
point.
do that also. So whatever.
I'd like to thank all the authority members and all the staff for all their hard work in putting together this document. Thank you all for your time tonight. I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Do I have a proposer?
Now I got one more item.
Oh, sorry.
in new business. It's the website. In talking to a lot of people, we have all sorts of different websites. We have a supporters website, we have a tennis website and whatever. Can I make a proposal that I don't know who our webmaster is or whatever, but I think Jim, unfortunately, it probably would fall on him, but can we during the next 3 months kind of talk about how we can better link everyone's websites? I mean, the tennis link is buried way over somewhere on the bottom of web links, and maybe that should be part of the tennis thing or whatever, but I just think we ought to be working on our website over the winter also.
Is that a short range plan?
That's a short range plan, yeah. So, but I don't know, I'm not a webmaster. Is anyone on the authority have access to a webmaster, or who is our webmaster?
I will say that I've done a lot of it, and Ed Ruiz before me did a lot, and I kind of updated it. I'm sure Jim Holiday did a little, but we are planning to kind of give it a little update this winter.
Okay, I think we ought to talk about how we get all the other websites a little more prevalent. They should come off that menu at least.
Yeah, maybe,
not-
yeah, maybe there's one website with menus. Because, having so many websites, I don't think it's necessary. I think we could have one nice, great website with different categories and menus of our programs, different programs.
I'll just
Robert,
say this,
is there-
the reasoning behind tennis and supporters is because supporters is a separate company. They have their own EIN number, and there is a link to it. And tennis is run by another organization, so they have their own site that we link to it there. I don't think we can bring them in-house because we could change.
We can't because that was actually developed by Kings Highway and they took our name. So they took the name of Oak Hills and developed their own website because they run the program. And so we cannot link that together, nor should we, but we have developed our own website a little bit better to, expand our tennis on our website.
Yeah, even though they have their own website, I've seen situations like this where we could actually identify our programs on our website too. We don't have to, we could identify them any way, but at least when people go to our website, they know that we have a tennis program, and maybe somehow we reference their company or whatever. But
we do that, Robert. But I think, but we already do that. But I think also Gary has a good point that there can be some improvements made. Sure.
I was told by our marketing company that he thought, one of the major guys there thought that we should give it a little fresher look. Some of our photos have been there for a while. Yeah. And I've been looking at a lot of different websites. Now that there's so many drones in the area, I think we should really do a nice flyover and put that on our golf course.
We'll grab some of those that are out in New Jersey right now.
Okay.
They're just about done mapping Jersey. They can come over here now.
So we may look to put together a small technology committee. You may be able to use some members that are good in these areas, and maybe a committee member to or someone to head it up. We can go to work on that. I think that's a good idea, Gary. Thank you for bringing it up. Does anybody else have any other item under new business? That being said, I would like to say again, thank you to the authority members and also to the staff for their hard work and all this efforts. And I will now entertain a motion to adjourn. If someone would like to propose.
So proposed.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Happy
Thank you all very
holidays.
much.
Happy holidays.
Have a great holiday, everybody.
Happy
Thank
New
you.
Year.
Thank you. Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good night.
Night, everyone.
Night.